Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? I was sitting here just cracking up at some of your comments here. Shannon, Deb. Shannon was first anyway, but now he's got crown number 2 and Deb's got crown number 1 and they're fighting over crowns. Shannon went away for a while to try and lip read. I don't know what's going on there. Deb's got a nut allergy. Oh, unfortunately, says Shannon, I'm nutty as a squirrel. Okay. How you going, Deb, Shannon? Good to see you guys. Alex, good to see you all. Out to lunch. Who else have we got in here? Heaps of Shannon trying to get the crown back. Charlie, how you going? Oh, good to see you. Who else have we got in here? Is that it? I just want to say hello to everyone before I start. It looks like it. Maybe. J1, how you going? I just didn't scroll down enough. There we go. Oh, we got J1. D. Lee, how you going? Carl, how you going? Who else have we got? Randy, how you going? Bazar, how you going? Tim, how you going? Good to see yous. W. David, good to see ya. Kai, how you going? Okay, I think I've got everyone now. Okay, let's get into some news. Let's watch the shit show unfold before us. Wow. Oz Integrity said, will you look at that? Digital ID targeted at those most vulnerable. Digital ID or no rental. Don't you hate your government? You don't hate your government enough. Added bonus, this gives the government full access to all the details relating to your rental and who you're living with. And that was from yesterday's. They're trying to bring in digital ID for people renting now. They say to make it easier because they actually made it harder by making people fill in rental applications online in a third-party app, and then you get multiple phone calls from numbers you don't know that are like stupid calls, you know. Chinese freaking woman on the other end talking in Chinese, and I just, no, fuck you. And, God, what else? Oh, you get all the, you know, all the scammers calling you after you fill that in. Let me tell you right now, I know. I was a renter up until recently. Okay. Eric Doherty said, wow, Canada used a fake Ronald Reagan quote to run advertisements against President Trump's tariffs. So 47 just terminated all trade negotiations. Massive F around and find out. The ad was for $75 million. They only did this to interfere with the decision of the US Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behaviour, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump, and that's what he said. Wow. Oh, Canada, you're just like Australia. Australia, we just gave the US heaps and didn't ask for anything in return because our little Prime Minister, our soy boy Prime Minister, has no backbone. Not that we want him to argue with Trump, but we want, you know, a good deal. Now, Tommy Robinson, and I don't care who calls me a shill, I'm not a shill, but I agree with him. Women, of all we on earth came from and brought up to fend for ourselves, covered in black cloth and paraded like cattle under the name of Islam, because that is exactly what's happening. Okay? You may not like Tommy Robinson, you may not agree with him, but he's right on that one. I don't know about where you are, but in Australia it's bad enough. Thank you. I want them to go home, not just them, all the Indians, I want a lot of people to go home who aren't here legally, for a start. And then any terrorists can go with them, actually. Like the women, the ISIS brides they just bought back. Yeah, right. The Islander, EU's final humiliation. Trump's pen ends Russian oil lifeline and they thank him for it. Oh, God, sounds like the UK is just like Australia, Prime Minister. Trump just did what Brussels couldn't with one signature. He cut off Russian oil to the EU and not a single EU leader raised a finger to stop it. In a move so servile, it would make a vassal blush. They let DC erase the last artery of cheap Russian crude while pretending it was their own idea. Way to go, Trump, playing everyone. At this week's EU's Leader Summit, Commission President Ursula von der Leyen didn't challenge the US blockade. She didn't even blink. Instead, she smiled for the cameras and applauded a policy that will plunge European industries deeper into collapse, raise household energy bills this winter and further shrink the pitiful remains of the continent's strategic autonomy. The sanctions Trump just imposed don't just target Russian crude shipped by sea. They now go after pipeline oil, the last artery still feeding the European mainland. That includes the legendary Druzhba pipeline. I don't know how to say that. Friendship in name, but now a geopolitical noose. Druzhba once powered the rise of post-war Europe. Germany, Poland, Hungary, Czechia all grew on the back of that cheap, stable Russian oil. Even at the height of the SMO, Russia never shut it down. The tap stayed on. It was Europe that cut its own wrists, and now they're bleeding out in public, calling it a moral stand. What's worse, even Germany, the so-called engine of Europe, is on its knees begging for an exemption. Berlin's Rosneft Deutschland, still technically under Russian ownership despite nationalisation theatre, controls major stakes in the Schwedt refinery. It needs Druzhba crude to keep the lights on in eastern Germany. So what does Berlin do? They humiliate themselves by pleading with Washington to let them keep importing Russian oil while lecturing the world on sacrifice and values. No one voted for this, not the German public, not the Hungarian public, not the Slovaks or Czechs or Poles. This was done by unelected technocrats behind closed doors, erasing sovereignty with a smirk, handing over Europe's last industrial advantage to Washington on a silver platter. This is ritual servitude. Trump didn't need tanks, he didn't need NATO, he didn't need UN resolutions or colour revolutions. He just needed Europe to keep bowing, and they did. All it took was a stroke of a pen in Washington, half of Europe's fuel supply vanished. No referendum, no vote, no outrage. Just quiet obedience from a class of unelected technocrats who once fancied themselves as emperors of a strategic Europe. Instead, they become paper pushers for an empire, trading sovereignty for sanctions and industry for cult ideology. And as Moscow turns east and signs all contracts in yuan, Brussels is left fumbling for ration cards and recycled slogans. It didn't happen by mistake, it happened because the EU stopped governing and started submitting. And really, it couldn't have happened to a more deserving crowd. Sadly, Europeans will pay the ultimate bill. There you go. Wow. First, the EU moved to rob Russia's central bank, then DC hit its oil giants. The Euroclear heist is supposed to fund its forever war in Ukraine. The Rosneft sanctions are meant to pressure Moscow. Roscoe? Anyway. Instead, the global economy flinched, oil spiked 7%, markets buckled, and even Belgium panicked. What's really happening? The West isn't sanctioning Russia. It's detonating what remains of its own empire brick by brick. Yesterday, the EU planned to rubber stamp the theft of over €210 billion in frozen Russian central bank reserves, most of it held inside Belgium's Euroclear, the West crown jewel of custodial trust. But when the moment came, Belgium stalled. Behind closed doors, Euroclear's lawyers warned that using frozen Russian assets sorry guys, to backstop a €140 billion loan to Ukraine would violate international law, sovereign immunity and treaties Belgium itself has ratified. And that's when it hit. If you rob a nuclear power's central bank, you don't look rules-based, you look like a mob. Enter Italian PM Giorgia Meloni, now playing the role of an adult in a room full of economic arsonists. We believe, and we're not the only ones, that it's necessary to respect international rules and the principle of legality. Meloni addressing the Italian Senate October the 22nd. And she's right. Under the UN Convention on Jurisdictional Immunities of States under customary international law and under the Articles on State Responsibility, RSIWA, the EU's plan is flat out illegal. Central bank reserves used for non-commercial purposes are immune from seizure. Countermeasures must be reversible, proportionate and aimed at dispute resolution, not regime change. And using frozen assets as collateral for an irreversible loan is a breach of fiduciary trust, Euroclear's neutrality and Belgium's legal obligations. That's why Belgium blinked. They see what's coming. Lawsuits, blowback and the collapse of trust in the entire euro-based financial system. While Brussels flailed, Washington struck the other pressure point, energy. The US Treasury sanctioned Rosneft and Lukoil, the two arteries of Russian oil exports. Within hours, Brent crude soared 5% to $65.99. WTI rose 5.6% to $61.79. Analysts warn of a move towards $70+ per barrel. India, the number one buyer of Russian seaborne oil, hesitated. China paused short-term crude purchases. Turkey signalled caution. The goal wasn't to stop the war. The goal was to choke the energy lifeline of the global south, right as they pivot away from the petrodollar. If this was about Russia, it would make no sense, but it's not. It looks like controlled demolition. The West is trying to reset the global board before the game slips from its hands completely. Step 1, seize Russia's reserves, destroying trust in custodianship. Step 2, sanction Russia's oil giants, disrupt energy flow and create artificial scarcity. Step 3, blame the chaos on Moscow while preparing emergency controls on capital, energy and speech. By targeting Russia's vaults and pipelines at once, the West has triggered a systemic revolt. BRICS and states will accelerate settlement in yuan, rupee and ruble. Sovereigns will pull assets out of Euroclear, and oil sanctions, they don't halt energy flows, they redirect them east at higher prices on different terms. It was never just about Russia, it was about control over capital, over energy, over reality itself. But in trying to rob Russia's vaults and strangle its pipelines, the West has done something far more permanent. It's taught the world to stop trusting. Trust in Euroclear is gone, trust in SWIFT is bleeding, trust in the dollar and euro not as currencies, but as promises is evaporating. They lit the fuse in Brussels. They spiked the price of oil in DC. Now the world watches, the pillars fall and builds something new on the ashes. Russia will endure and the global majority, they're leaving the casino and taking the gold with them. Very interesting. Okay, I keep getting messages. Okay, I'll have to get to them in a minute. Amused said Antifa, after Portland police reluctantly took an insurgent into custody at the ICE facility, one of its officers hoisted a "fuck Trump" flag over his head, waving it. The police, prosecutors and judges are all members of the resistance. Yeah, they'll probably let the person go. They reluctantly took an insurgent into custody. Are they going to hold them? Probably not. Sudden and unexpected, said so Summit Elementary School and Woodland Park School District, RE2, suspended all my A's, 1B, 11-year-old daughter from school until we either give her a vaccine she doesn't need or add her to a Gestapo-style unveiled exemption list mandated by the state of Colorado Capital. I'm working on a lawsuit to challenge this unconstitutional mandate that gives public schools too much say in my daughter's health. When I went to discuss it with Principal Rexford at Summit Elementary, she had an armed guard standing at the door in an attempt to intimidate me. I have this on recording. I asked him to leave the very private conversation about my child's health, and instead he continued to block the only exit and remained armed in spite of my clear discomfort with his presence. Additionally, they left the door open while discussing HIPAA-protected conversations. The US Constitution is the only exemption form you should need in regards to your child's health. If anyone else in the state or school district has been forced to V your kids with unnecessary Vs, PM me and I'd love to challenge the states and unconstitutional mandates together. I take my kid to school for an education. I take her to the doctors for medical advice, not the opposite. What a great point. You take your kid to school for an education, which they tend to not get properly anyway, but you take them to the doctors for medical advice, not the opposite. In fact, I don't think I'd even do that anymore. But anyway, poor kid. That's ridiculous. And poor mum. Okay, Anne Vandersteel said since the government shut down, the poisoning of our skies has nearly stopped. That should tell you something. It's not I don't know, can you two guys tell me in America if chemtrails are still flying around? It's not the Republic doing this evil, it's the agency government, the unconstitutional shadow state ignoring the Constitution, ignoring the people and fueling its dark ops with Federal Reserve monopoly money. This is a banker's war. The private Fed cartel prints fake dollars, taxpayers pay the interest. That money funds DOW, agency government contracts who fly these kill missions. The shutdown choked their cash flows, but like USAID, they'll find new pipelines, demons always do. The federal government shutdown must continue until the agency government is wiped out completely. Commentary, Donald J. Trump post from his Truth Social. Lee Zeldin, the Trump EPA is committed to total transparency. I tasked my team at EPA to compile everything we know about contrails and geoengineering to release to you now publicly. I want you to know everything I know about these topics and without any exception.
Concerned Americans have urgent and important questions about geoengineering and contrails. The American public deserves and expects honesty and transparency from their government when seeking answers. But for years, people who asked questions in good faith were dismissed, even vilified by the media and their own government. That era is over. The Trump EPA is committed to total transparency. As a result, I tasked my team at EPA to compile a list of everything we know about contrails and geoengineering for the purpose of releasing it to you now publicly. In other words, I want you to know everything I know about these topics and without any exception. Instead of simply dismissing these questions and concerns as baseless conspiracies, we're meeting them head on. We did the legwork, looked at the science, consulted agency experts, and pulled in relevant outside information to put these online resources together. Everything we know about contrails to solar geoengineering will be in there. That means anyone who reads through this information will know as much about these topics as I do as EPA administrator. To anyone who's ever looked up to the streaks in the sky and asked, what the heck is going on?
Yep.
Or seen headlines about private actors and even governments looking to blot out the sun in the name of stopping global warming?
Bill Gates.
We've endeavored to answer all of your questions at the links on your screen.
Let's hope
In
so.
fact, EPA shares many of the same concerns when it comes to potential threats to human health and the environment, especially from solar geoengineering activities. The enthusiasm for experiments that would pump pollutants into the high atmosphere has set off alarm bells here at the Trump EPA. Prior to now, EPA has never been this proactive to raise awareness about concerns with geoengineering and to stop this activity from being scaled up. This is what it looks like when government actually listens to the will of the people and doesn't try to squash it. You can always trust this administration and this EPA to take your concerns seriously, answer your questions honestly, and carry out the will of voters with integrity.
We hope so. There you go. Larry Cook said, my response to this paediatrician. Jeff Glass said, excellent article by Dr. Lawrence Skelton Ford. Bottom line, if you have questions about V's, speak with your local trusted physician. We all have the same goal, safe, happy and healthy children. V's vital to keeping our kids safe. I don't think this person is a doctor. Look, the media will do this. They'll get a picture of someone and say, Dr. such and such recommends this, or, do an article about them. Larry Cook said, my response to this paediatrician, it's a constant battle, isn't it, Jeff? This person. You poison helpless children with toxic injections, completely gaslight the parents who tell you what happened, and then we need to come in and help try and recover that child. It's truly sickening what so-called doctors are doing to humanity. I look forward to the day when your profession is shut down for good. Or paediatricians, yes. We never used to have paediatricians, used to just be the GP. I always wondered why all these specialists all of a sudden... The GP used to send you for, they still had, specialists, like if you had some disease, then you would probably go to a specialist, but... I don't know, all these, a paediatrician from a doctor, separating everything, compartmentalisation. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. Okay, Gemma Tignini said, please enjoy this video I took Tuesday at 6:15, peak hour, of the Pitt Street bike lane demonstrating its utility. No, this is peak hour. They've put bike lanes all over Australia. Sydney, suburbs, right? This is peak hour for bike lanes. No one's riding bikes, guys. I mean, they do in parks and, they'll do it on the side of the road anyway. But yeah, this is green, apparently, okay? They're shutting the roads down and making it half of it for bikes. See, roads that used to go probably 2 ways are now 1 way with one of these bike lanes in it. Great idea. Whoever thought that one up? Morons. Concerned citizens said we will provide Ukraine with 5,000 missiles. We need to keep pressure on Putin through the provision of long-range capabilities. Keir Starmer is still trying his best to ignite World War III using your taxes. Nobody wants or voted for this. You insane, insane man. God help us all. We've all got insane people running things, except for America. I don't know. Can we have Trump? If you guys don't want him, then can we have him? Actually, can you just take over Australia? That'd be even better, you know. I was going to say gooder, but there's no such word as gooder. It's better. Okay, Elijah Schaefer said Indians throwing used oil and grease down public sewer systems in Canada. Import India, become India. And it's the same in Australia. We've got whole suburbs of Indians now because they're, you know, and the suburbs are turning into shit. Look at this. Great. That's all you need. It's going to block up the sewer system because it's grease, oil and grease. Yeah, we'll eventually block up your sewer system if that grease hardens. And guess what's going to come out of those drains? Eric Doherty said breaking Hakeem Jeffries just got brutally embarrassed on national television, gets called out for his hypocrisy. What you're asking Republicans to do when they control the White House, Senate and House is what the Democrats could not do when you controlled all 3 heads of government. The 3-year setup for the expiration of Obamacare credits was put in when you controlled the White House, House and Senate. This is a setup of your own creation. Now you want the Republicans to do something you didn't do when you were in power? Hakeem is flailing. That's brutal. Well done. Oh, who is this?
It said what you are asking the Republicans to do right now when they control the White House, the Senate, and the House.
Yep, she's literally asking him those questions. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, okay? The volume on that is very low. I don't know if you guys could hear it very well, but Basil the Great said Keir Starmer signs off on a £111 million family planning package for Pakistan. I remember this from years ago. Do you remember the gender studies for like Muslim countries and that? In Pakistan? I think they're money laundering again, guys. What do you reckon? I wish this was a joke. Britain is bankrupt, our taxes are going up to fund millions and we're sending... Our taxes are going up to fund millions we are sending to Pakistan to help promote contraception and family planning. Why are we paying for this? Look, they're smiling. It's money laundering, okay? That's all you need to know. It's not all you need to know. It's money laundering, believe me. They say they're giving this money to these people for this, but secretly it goes through NGOs and probably a lot of it goes back in their pockets. And then they give it to Antifa. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if they'd actually give it to Antifa or not. That was a bit of a joke. Greg, but I wouldn't be surprised. Greg Price said, Bale, why does Chicago have the highest murder rate of all the big cities? Pritzker said, we're not in the top 30. Bayer says, shows him a map showing Chicago's number 1. Pritzker, look, you can pull statistics up, but our murder rate's been cut in half. Well, if that's half, I'd hate to see what it was fully. Not only that, because these Democrat cities, they don't report crime anymore, right? Because they don't arrest people for things, right? So when you stop upholding the law, of course you're going to have lower, rates because you're not charging people. This man's a freaking idiot, Pritzker. Anyway, Jesse Waters said breaking Attorney General Pam Bondi has just ordered Nancy Pelosi to preserve her emails after she ordered ICE to be arrested. Pam Bondi said, you're impeding an investigation and we will charge you. If they think I won't, they've not met me. Go, arrest Pelosi. Come on, let's see it. I want to see it. Not just for that, then look into where she got her millions from, right? And what else she's a part of, which is a lot. A lot of money laundering going on there too. Nick Sautor said, watch, I took advantage of leftist militants being distracted by yelling at each other to walk through their newly rebuilt camp outside ICE, Portland. Thousands of dollars worth of supplies, food and equipment, including gas masks, are nicely organised in bins. The city pretended to make them leave, but allowed them to put all their stuff in a storage unit directly behind the sidewalk so they could rebuild 1 hour later. An absolute joke. Way past time we'll find out who's paying for all of this. There you go. Crazy, isn't it? Well, very well paid for, I'd say. Yeah, and you need to find out who's paying for it. I know the Portland police are part of it. Maybe not all of them, but some of them are. The ones who are willing not to try and charge them. Lozzie B said woke women do not belong in positions of power ever. No, they don't. The damage these women have done to men, women and children is unforgivable. They're hateful, delusional and dangerous.
Woman, get back in here and make me a sandwich.
I'm kidding. Okay. Oh, I just thought I'd stick that one in there. No, they're not. These woke women are bloody dangerous. Herald Sun opinion. Government ministers say Jacinta Allen wants to tighten bail laws, but she's stuck with a cabinet full of socialist left women who are not going to go for it. Well, is she the leader or not? Then she just says, we're going with this. We're going to tighten, what is it? Bail laws. I'm not going to believe it until I see it. Okay, here's another long one. The Islander, first Italy, now Belgium. The West is about to torch 200+ billion euro in Russian sovereign reserves to fund a war it's already lost. And suddenly some of the looters look over their shoulders. Maloney warned it violates international law. Belgium's sweating liability. Because deep down they know if you rob a nuclear superpower's central bank, you're not I already read that one. Okay, sorry guys. Trying to read it again, I am. Is it the same one though? Oh, no, it's not. Okay, hang on. It goes in to touch on the other one that I read. Okay. At the October 23rd EU summit in Brussels, a plan to use €210 billion of frozen Russian assets. Most of it held in Euroclear, a Belgian clearinghouse, was expected to be rubber stamped, delayed. Despite the propaganda spin, Belgian officials demanded legal guarantees they wouldn't be left holding the bag if Russia sues, which inevitably will. They know that using those funds, even just as collateral for loans to Ukraine, transforms a freeze into constructive expropriation, which violates customary international law, sovereign immunity and treaty obligations. Let's be crystal clear. Sovereign immunity prohibits one state from seizing the central bank assets of another. The UN Convention on Jurisdictional Immunities of States, Article 21, guarantees protection of central bank property used for non-commercial purposes. The Articles on State Responsibility demand any countermeasures be proportional, reversible and aimed at dispute resolution. Yep, we already read that one. That's not sanctions, that's financial warfare. It's what banana republics do after coups, not what so-called liberal democracies do that pretend to subscribe to a rules-based order. And Belgium, obviously, balked at that. Seat of Euroclear just admitted the obvious. This will end in lawsuits, chaos. The only thing underwritten in the post-war Bretton Woods financial order. Without it, the fiat Ponzi collapses. What happens when the precedent is set that G7 bloc can seize and monetise the sovereign reserves of a nuclear superpower? Here's what happens. Every BRICS central banker pulls funds out of Western custody. The petrodollar dies faster. The euro becomes toxic as a reserve currency. Nations ask, if they rob Russia, who will they rob tomorrow? Trust, the last pillar of Western financial supremacy, is gone. The dollar isn't backed by gold. The euro isn't backed by industry. The pound isn't backed by anything except the illusion of rules and property rights. Break that illusion and what's left? Answer, fear, retaliation, collapse. This was never about Ukraine. It's about control, narrative control, financial control, legal control. You can't run a global empire if nobody trusts your vaults. And if the EU elites think they can test up the law to rob Russia today, the whole world will ensure it pays the price tomorrow. It's no longer about frozen assets. It's about frozen order, cracking under the weight of its own moral and legal bankruptcy. And Hungary, Italy, Belgium, one by one, are stepping out of the blast radius. Okay, now they're delaying the decision on using frozen Russian funds to aid Ukraine. And that was the one I read earlier. There you go. Oh, my goodness, I've got another one in here. Wow. When Giorgia Meloni told the EU to think twice before stealing Russia's frozen assets, it wasn't Kremlin propaganda. It was the final voice of sanity in Brussels asylum. Because what the Eurocrats are doing isn't just illegal, it's suicidal piracy. The theft of sovereign reserves will detonate the post-war financial system, and the rest of the world is already taking notes. We believe, and we're not the only ones, that it's necessary to respect international rules and the principle of legality, like I read before. Adding that the EU must protect the financial and monetary stability of our economies and the euro area. There's a reason even the IMF and ECB are sweating behind closed doors. The European Commission's plan to use that Russian frozen assets as collateral to fund Kiev is not just lawless, it's existentially reckless. The entire post-Bretton Woods financial architecture rests on the idea that sovereign reserves held in trust are sacrosanct. Break that trust once, and every single sovereign creditor from Africa to Asia starts asking, who's next? The moment a Western financial institution like Belgium's Euroclear becomes an instrument of political confiscation, it ceases to be neutral infrastructure. It becomes a battlefield. Sovereign reserve managers from Saudi Arabia, Brazil, India and China are watching this unfold, not with shock but with clarity. The West has weaponised the monetary system. That means the game is over. De-dollarisation, de-euroisation, and de-dollar-denominated trade routes aren't just theoretical anymore. They are now mandatory self-defence mechanisms. Okay, it's not about Ukraine. That war's already lost. What's unfolding now is rearguard scorched earth policy. The EU, unable to win on the battlefield, is trying to win time from its own collapse through financial vandalism. But here's a basic truism. You cannot win a financial war if your system depends on global trust, and that trust has just been smashed with a brick. If Russia is just a gas station with nukes, as the Atlantis Bob claims, why are they trying to rob it like it's the last vault on Earth? Why are European pension funds, dollar-exposed banks and fragile bond markets being leveraged just to bleed a few more billion into a Ukraine state that increasingly resembles the bankrupt fortress of grift? The answer is clear. The West is broken. It's panicking. Meanwhile, Russia's already 2 moves ahead. Putin has made it explicit the real punishment isn't lawsuits or tit-for-tat seizures. It's in building the architecture that makes Western theft irrelevant. Gold-backed trade settlements, BRICS plus, banking infrastructure, national currency-denominated bilateral swaps. Russia doesn't need to win lawsuits in The Hague. It just needs to demonstrate that if you park your reserves in Brussels, you're a sucker. Remember, the Ponzi only works on trust and credibility. That's the grand irony. In trying to punish Russia, the EU is doing exactly what Russia wanted, revealing the Western financial system as predatory, arbitrary, and terminally politicised. That's the final phase of transitioning to multipolarity. You don't need tanks to win, you just need to make people realise the rules-based order is a con. So yes, Meloni deserves credit, and not as a rebel, but as a technocrat who remembered what the rule book said. The United States can afford to be reckless. Their currency is still the global reserve for now, but Europe just handed over its economic soul to a collapsing war plan and expected no blowback. That's not policy, it's junkie logic. And now that Russia isn't breaking but victorious, now that it's building trade corridors, de-dollarising and thriving, the mask drops. The EU doesn't know what to do, so it steals. History will remember that it wasn't Moscow who tore down the global financial order. It was Brussels, so thank you to the EU. They're doing it themselves. They're going to crash it. The Daily Signal said first on the Daily Signal, the Trump administration is moving to roll back a Joe Biden-era regulation that allows taxpayer dollars to pay for unaccompanied illegal alien children in the US to travel to get, oh my God, to get abortions. So Joe Biden funded unaccompanied illegal alien children getting abortions. Children. Jesus. That's something really sick in your head to want to do that. Oz Integrity said Australia, you cannot comply your way to freedom. Digital ID is the fast track to Agenda 2030 and an open-air prison. Trading freedom for convenience is the weak, cowardly, lazy way out, and government is relying on its long-term population programming for you to adopt it. Don't. I don't know what this is, but it looks interesting, but it's 8 minutes long. Hang on, what's this?
Frankie, how you going? 15 years.
Welcome to Utopia. On citizen arrival, 07.
So glad to be back home. So what's been happening? Anything at all?
No, nothing's changed.
Does anyone know what this movie is? It looks like it's part of a movie. Utopia. Oh, here we go. Littering offence.
Did you throw out any rubbish?
No, of course not.
Is that yours?
Hey, it's my bandana.
Wow. Okay, I want to know what this is. What's it called? Hang on. I don't know if that's what it is, but I want to know what this movie is now. It's obviously a movie about a dystopian utopia. Oh, make that one make sense. Okay. Australians said the word cheating explained in 11 seconds. Is that a generator? A massive generator? Just tow it and let it charge itself. Someone tell me, is that a generator? It looks like a massive generator to me. Yeah, it is. It says it on it. It's a generator. It's a Tesla generator. Just carry it with you. Especially if you're going long distances, it might help. You won't get stuck. Hopefully. Oh my God, that's funny as. Tesla towing its own generator to charge it. Okay, I need a drink of my coffee now. I think the coffee's doing something. I don't think I need caffeine. Anywho, Dan Scavino Jr. said, make no mistake about it, Canada is openly interfering in US elections by targeting Republican districts. Could you imagine if roles were reversed and President Trump ran ads in Canada? Okay, let's have a listen. Oh, where are we?
We'll launch a $75 million ad, and we're going to repeat that message to every Republican district there is, right across the entire country. We'll launch a $75 million ad, and we're going to...
Wow. Way to go, mate. Who else thinks Trump's could probably pretty much take over the world right now? I think he could with Australia. Anthony Albanese, just bend over for him. Is that part of what's going on here? Is Trump going to, make Canada and Australia and that new US states? Hey, I'm all for that. Okay, anyway. for Australia, anyway. But that's just me. Awakened Outlaw said US aid was being used globally to prop up shithole countries, effectively using our dollars to provide what amounts to long-term foreign country welfare programs. like Planned Parenthood in Pakistan. This effectively put the nations involved under the thumb of this global cabal-controlled NGO using our tax dollars used to support and enable their system of control. Thank God Trump brought this crap to a decided end. Hosner said. Hoden Osman, president of the Somali Development and Reconstruction Bank, says that the cuts to US aid have had severe impact on her country's economy. Well, if your country can't survive without it, what the fuck? Learn. All these people in the US and Australia and the UK, okay, learn from what you see and go back to your country and repeat the same thing. Okay? Take the ideas, take the knowledge back and fix your own country. Anyway, maybe that's just me again. Clown World, I'm in a funny mood today. Clown World says she ran a charity to feed hungry kids. Turns out she was feeding herself. Connie Bobo took millions in federal money meant for children and blew it on mansions, luxury cars and real estate. While kids went hungry, she was buying G-Wagons. This isn't fraud, it's evil dressed up as generosity. Stealing from the poor isn't just corruption, it's one of the lowest things a person can do. Well, why do I think they're doing that with like the Ukraine money and the USAID? Like, I really think this is what's happening to it. They're just like, people are pocketing this money. Do you really think Pakistan wants Planned Parenthood there? Come on. Oz Integrity said, looks like Australia's E. Karen will be finalising under 16 social media ban and censorship for all those that refuse to ID to foreign companies. Then she's going to mic drop and run without accountability for her actions, which is what they all do. Daniel Andrews, the Premier of Victoria, did it. He did all his mess in 2020 and then left. Now this lady's going to do it. Bureaucrats who are put in there by the WEF to do a job and run. And they get very good jobs afterwards too, by the way. Oh, they get set up for what they've done. Yeah, they get a great pay. They get a great job. They probably don't have to do anything in their new jobs. Or much anyway. And they get, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, like the bureaucrats do. They don't do anything, but they get hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh, no, wait a minute. They do things. They wreck things. That's what they do. MJ Truth Ultra said Trump drops a bombshell. President Trump announces he'll be signing an executive order ending mail-in ballots forever. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. This is the end of the Democrat Party. Let's have a listen.
Doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you explain on that?
Well, that's a very off-topic, just really quickly. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses them because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in vote, even Jimmy Carter with this commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad, I hate to take your time in this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. You know, when you go to a voting booth and you do it the right way and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in, they even ask me. They asked me for my license plate, for identity. I said, I don't know if I have it. He said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat with mail-in voting. As you know what happens in California, it's so corrupt, where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Now, we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time at rallies, you need borders and you need free and fair elections. Those two things. Otherwise, you don't have. We have strong borders now. In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 0, in 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I guess it's, but 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3, millions of people poured into our country. It was terrible. Thank you very much.
Very interesting. There you go. No more mail-in ballots. They can't cheat. That's what it is. Clandestine said, I'm tired of treading lightly and trying to appease everyone. Here's what's going to happen. Trump will stop the wars around the globe, clean up the crime in our cities, arrest all the traitorous scumbags, return America to glory, and you're going to fucking like it, right? Really good picture. I've got to try and make that my thumbnail. Alex, where are you? Can you do me some more thumbnails, please? God love you. Yeah, I used the other 4. Should I use them? I'll just keep using them again and again. Nick Sautor said, breaking President Trump confirms he's not even considering budging on Chuck Schumer's $1.5 trillion demand to reopen the government, which would fund health care for illegals. Hold the line, 47. The American people have your back. Not a penny for illegals. Okay, Rebecca, Mr. Egan. For decades, immigrants have raped European natives, women and children, and some men, believe it or not. The Irish have reached a point of no return. We're all long overdue for that. The politicians need to leave office and be held accountable, with the police for facilitating systematic pedo and rape of their populations while protecting the ones who are doing it. This is Ireland at the moment. Ireland's just outraged, which is good. When the police are protecting the actual criminals and not the victims, the Irish set their cars on fire. Is this the beginning of the end of the decade of genocidal rape? Who knows? Hopefully. Hopefully this is Ireland turning around now. Okay. Wall Street Maverick said Biden's DOJ went after crypto because Democrats couldn't control it. CZ was one of many caught up in Biden's war. But Biden's people got $4.3 billion in fines and gave CZ a token prison sentence to make it look legit. Now, President Trump is restoring justice and focused on making America the crypto capital. Crypto capital. So the person breaking President Trump pardons Binance founder CZ. Okay, I thought they were bad guys, Binance. Is that the wrong one that I'm thinking of? FBS? No, SB. Sam Bankman-Fried. Is that the same lot? Lozzie B said, and what do these women bring to the table? Hang on a sec, I've got a, something for that.
Woman, get back in here and make me a sandwich.
Okay, what do these women bring to the table? The woke media loves to demonise and dehumanise men. We've all had about enough of the hate campaign by radical feminists blaming all their problems on men. Time for some truth-telling. You're the freaking problem, toxic feminists. You're the reason why there's a decline in marriage. Independent. Lack of economically attractive men to blame for decline in marriage rates, studies suggest. No, it's your attitude half the time. Yeah. Seriously. Get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich now. I'll get myself in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Hang on a sec. I'm getting confused here. Joey Manarino said rape is legal in Sweden and the EU. A migrant did it to a 16-year-old girl. The migrant wasn't deported because it didn't last long enough, so it was not considered a serious enough offence for deportation. What the fuck? Imagine being the 16-year-old girl getting raped by a cop-wielding migrant, and the migrant doesn't even get deported because he didn't rape you long enough. What the hell? May the judge burn in hell. The judge should go to jail as well. The judge should go to jail, along with the migrant being deported. Dear me, that's insane. Unitree, okay, we got another robot here. Unitree said, Unitree introducing Unitree H2 Destiny Awakening. Welcome to this world. Standing at 180 centimetres tall and weighing 70 kilos, the H2 by a humanoid born to serve everyone safely and friendly. Oh, God. I don't know if anyone saw the robots. Oh, no, I'm going to have to upload a few videos onto this channel that I uploaded onto my other channel, especially the ones about robots. These things, have you seen them falling over and carrying on like, yeah. I'm not going to like it. I just wanted to, how awkward. I think of how a lady dances right like that, a ballerina or something, and look at this thing. Really? Yeah, no. No, thank you. Hey, damn it, Mandy, good to see ya. Who else stopped in? Because I probably won't end up getting to see everybody. I think Randy was here as well. Jake. You can comment if you want me to shout you out. Sal. I'm trying. Anyone I missed? I'm really sorry. Okay, John Goddard said, for some reason nobody talks about the fact there's tens of thousands of Chinese people in Australia who don't work either. They just drive around their Porsches and buy real estate in Louis Vuitton. They don't even speak English. They don't want to integrate. What's going on here? Well, anyone, I don't care where you're from. If you don't want to integrate and you just want to make your own little suburbs where Aussies aren't allowed or don't understand your language, well, go home. It's that easy. Okay? It's that easy. They don't need to. One-child families so rich, get your permanent residency and bring the whole family over. At least they can pay their own way and don't breed like rabbits. I'd say more like this one. CCP supported spies and subversives. This includes the students who flood our system. This is not a theory. This is part of the Chinese long game to undermine the social and economic stability of the West. Property ownership should be limited to citizens only. And I think that's probably why. Eagle Wings said, I'm not letting this go. Why is Congress not investigating this? It's thievery. Jennifer Granholm was in charge of the Department of Energy under Biden. She shoveled out, was that $93 billion in her last 76 days in office in the form of loans to green businesses that weren't vetted and didn't file a business plan. That's 3 times their annual budget gone in 76 days. More than twice what was spent in the last 15 years. Yeah, this woman needs to be held accountable. Thief, you little thief. Jennifer Granholm was in charge of the, yep, okay, she did that. Yep. Little thief. Media Lies said Press Secretary Carol Levitt brought receipts today on the Schumer shutdown, how the Democrats and leftists openly admit it's harming the American people. Senate Minority Leader Schumer, every day gets better as the shutdown continues. House Minority Whip Clark, there are going to be families that are going to suffer. This is one of the very few leverage points we have. Bernie Sanders says if you reopen the government, we lose our leverage. There are countless more examples that aren't included here. It's obvious that Democrats have taken their masks off. They're willing to inflict pain and suffering on the American people because they have a perceived leverage point. Shameful and disgusting. And then we got this one, which is Homeland Security. Okay, this person here said 3 small children run to escape an ICE raid in Idaho. Managed to find family. I didn't get caught, boy says. Nobody got some handcuffs on me. Dozens of minors were among hundreds detained, zip-tied and separated from parents. Agents chose to raid on family night. Okay, now let's get back to the other post. False. No children were zip-tied, arrested or restrained by ICE. ICE dismantled an illegal horse racing, animal fighting and gambling enterprise operating out of a property known as La Cathedral Arena in Wilder, Idaho. ICE arrested 105 illegal aliens. Under President Trump and Secretary Noem, we are dismantling criminal networks in the United States. So they were where animals are being abused, in other words. Okay? Animal fighting, horse racing and gambling. Okay. Oh, what was this one? Oh, yes, this is the one I got to do on its own. Okay. So I'm going to have to do that again. Hang on. Let me just see what I can do here. Because can I undo that and then redo it to put it at the top? Hopefully. Okay. So that is the crazy news for today. Let's go to the comments. Okay, can you hit the like button? Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. You can hit the like or the down. I don't care. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Oh, I don't care. Okay. Am I back at the beginning? Yeah, don't fill the chat with smut, please. Thank you. How you going, Alex? You were driving home, out to lunch, said there was an ad-type donation. You know, where you'd watch an ad and it would spit an ad revenue with you, tip by watching an ad? Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? But anyway, I don't trust them. As soon as I monetize, they're gonna do some shit. They've already copyrighted a lot of my videos so that I can't claim monetization on them. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that. Shannon said, treachery. Deb tricked me into leaving so she could have the crown. Oh, dear, you're funny. Charlie said, welcome to the world of next level madness. Exactly. And Don, out to lunch, said, Donna's out of town tonight with her sister. Tina does flower arrangements for weddings and other events. Oh, lovely. Oh, that's beautiful. But Donna made me a sandwich. Yeah, who's going to make you a sandwich? Okay, Charlie said, thanks for having me. I've been hoping for a better day, but the crazy politicians, world leaders, seem hell-bent on keeping things crazy. I know. Deb said, Shannon, I sent Timmy the funny message to prove they're funny. Stormy has no sense of humour. I know. Charlie said that's just what they're serving in generous proportions. What am I missing a comment here? Oh, Deb said, hence why I stopped watching bloody politicians can't digest your food with all that bullshit that they speak. Yeah. And that's just what they're serving, and in generous portions, I might add. Yep. Deb said, less news, my blood pressure goes down. There you go. Turn it off. Yep. Watch something funny. Deb said, see our doctor in the house, Timmy, for proper medical advice. Yes. Exactly. Deb said, Hev, what did you think of your email I sent? Oh, no, I didn't get an email. Did I? No? I've got to check my emails, Deb. Oh, it was an old shot of me from back in the day. Oh, God. Oh, what, 5, 6 years ago? Deb said, really, Charlie? Well, this is a hot channel. I think we're being monitored for our opinions. Charlie said, this channel and audience are the true meaning of perseverance. Oh, I'm very, yeah, I will persevere. Even if I get hit, I'll still persevere. Never, ever, ever give up. Yep, Charlie said 5 years down the road and we remain. Deb said, Heather's been what's kept me from going insane. I'm already crazy. On you, Deb. Charlie said, crazy is almost a mandatory requirement to survive today. How you going, J1? Oh, there we go. It jumped and I won't be able to get back to the beginning. Will I? How far back can I go? Okay, about here somewhere. Carl said, are you supposed to be streaming also on Rumble? Yes, it was streaming last I looked. Yes. Yeah, last time I looked, I'm pretty sure I was streaming on Rumble. Where am I? Hang on, let me have a look. Where'd Rumble go? Oh, there it is. Yep. I am streaming on Rumble currently, yes. That's it. So it's working. It is working. Okay, so there we go. Jake said, President Trump, we salute you. Randy said, F Trump. Okay. Deb said, see, Albo can't write his own speech. Spell check, keep changing what I'm trying to say. He stole a script from a movie. Didn't they all? Okay, I'm not reading those dirty jokes. Okay. Out to lunch asked, is handcuffing a deaf person behind his back taking his freedom of speech away? Oh, out to lunch. Kai said, very good question. Randy said the planet alignments. Kai said they'd be talking out of their ass after that, though. Oh, are you guys full of jokes today? What, J1, what are you talking about? Banana and Dutch cinnamon thick shake for breakfast. Oh, my goodness. I'm hungry, by the way. Deb said if you hold the hands down, an Italian cannot speak. I know Italians that don't speak with their hands. And you know what? I'm Irish and sometimes I use my hands to speak. They're like flying around. David said the chem started back up a month ago in South Texas. We had about 7 months off without them. Nice. Charlie said, I believe he tried to say chemtrail. Yep. Kai said, no one understands the events that are about to happen. No, the system ready to go when this one's finally done away with. I think there is. Deb's laughing at me, which is good because I like people laughing. Charlie said total chaos is their goal. Shanna said they were banning planes with weather control equipment from airport. Kai said it's got to be so much worse than anything humankind has ever known before. So horrific that no human being that survives it would ever allow it again. Yep. Yeah, it's going to get scary. It's coming. It's very close now. Okay. Deb said, yes, all medical was holistic. Everything was one, yeah. And everything was connected. Your body is connected. Like if you got, pain in your head or your stomach or whatever, something's going on, okay? And it might be something really weird, but something's going on. Because everything's connected. You don't just take your hand off, It doesn't disconnect. We're not like our Lego men. Oh, I'm in a weird mood, really. Kai said they made another where the aliens didn't show themselves for 5 years and eventually looked exactly like red-skinned, winged, pointed tail, hoof demons. There you go. Shannon said no Tomahawk missiles because only America can launch them. Yeah, Shannon, more gooder. Yeah, more gooder. Deb, were you trying to say, can we use eggs and tomatoes like the old days? Kai said, a war with AI would last about 8 minutes. We'd lose. Yeah, I've got to upload some, I'm going to upload a funny video of, oh no, it got taken down from YouTube. Shit, that's right. Robots going nuts because of copyright, apparently. See, I got copyrighted for showing a bunch of different videos, short videos of robots going nuts, okay? Oh, HZ, hey, going? Sorry, I have to sleep now. Thank you. Have a good time, chat. You too. Good to see ya. And who did I miss? BC17Q. Another state just declared a food emergency. This is the beginning, folks. I do believe we are very close now. Deb said Drake's supermarket is asking people to come and work, so they have to bring in workers. Yeah, I haven't seen you, HZ, for ages. Okay. Deb said that's exactly my thought. I didn't want to be the first to say that, Kai. Charlie said the Fiat fantasies being exposed. Shannon said, Deb said, all we need is Timmy. Shannon, I hope Timmy's able to join us on Monday again for some kind of call-in or something. Shannon said, Zal is finally in our presence. Must have been all that talk about HZ frequencies. Hurts. Kai said, titanium's actually more valuable than gold now. Wow. Zal's here. Good to see you, Zal. Out to lunch, said, Timmy, you busy? Kai said, and gold broke 4K an ounce a couple of days ago. It did. Yeah, Charlie, strategic metal, you're not supposed to know that. Deb said, yes, Utopia is a TV series. It's very funny. Slight living in the Twilight Zone, Utopia. Oh, okay. Thank you, Deb. Because it was Australian, obviously. But it looked like Idiocracy at first. And I'm like, is it? No, it's not. No, it's Australian, so it's not Idiocracy. Shannon said diesel generators. Deb said they did one with the Olympic Games. Kai said, laugh my ass off cheating. Deb said, yes, electric vehicles need a diesel engine to charge them. Yes, they do. So why have we got electric vehicles? Shannon said they still don't work because the battery will eventually get hot and explode, whilst locking you in the car as it burns. Exactly, Shannon. Deb said, we all need margaritas. Charlie said, the car will lock itself. Yes, it will. Shannon said the door handles retract and the glass is bulletproof. Oh, no. That's all you need. Charlie said, I special ordered my Tesla with a fire extinguisher and ejection seat still on back order. Good on you, Charlie. Shannon said, then the fire can't be extinguished even if submerged. Charlie said, but wait, there's more. Deb said, all lurking viewers, please have a thumbs up or down. It all helps. Thank you very much. Jake said, the Constitution is the solution. And can we have the Constitution here in Australia? Can we have the American Constitution in Australia? Thank you very much. That's why I want Trump to make Australia another state of America. United States of America. Kai said, just wait until 3 AIs pop past us dragging a load of cosmic buckshot. Maybe you'll probe crazy aliens. Oh, no. Shannon said, well, digital ID comes out, your EV will rat on you if you speed and money will instantly be deducted from your account. Exactly. Charlie said, you mean they can my last 32 cents? Those bastards. Shannon said, oh, they'll just turn off your car. Yeah, that too. Yeah, Kai said, I'll be balling. Deb said, mail-in is now toilet paper. Yes, it is. Shannon said it's about control. The deep state want to control, alt-delete you. Yes, they do. Charlie said, my Cybertruck doubles as a Ronco Showtime rotisserie cooker. Very good. Yeah, my Cybertruck operates as doubles as a coffee machine. Kai said, most likely cues another destruction and further the next reset. We'll see. Deb said he could be an imposter, Trump being asked who he is. Shannon said Trump built all that stuff in gold, now it's tripled the value. Genius. Charlie said my car doesn't run half the time anyway, I wouldn't even notice. Kai said I've got stress-induced epilepsy, I haven't driven in almost 3 years. Oh, Kai, I feel for you. Shannon said just take a relaxing drive, Kai. Yeah, get Tony to drive. Kai said self-deletion could be achieved from a sun spinner. Charlie said, you're not missing anything, my friend. Road rage is real and getting worse. Kai said, I was a road rager once. Alex said, I'm listening, I just can't type properly at the moment. Shouldn't be too much longer, I'll get home late. Yes, I can make more have. Thank you. Good on you, Alex. Shannon said, Killdozer Kai edition, armoured ride in Moa. Oh, Kai said, let me rephrase. I haven't driven legally in almost 3 years. Okay, gotcha. Kai said, I've got an industrial zero turn. Damn it, Mandy. How you going? Hit that like, y'all, please. I'm good, damn it, Mandy. How you going? It's getting warm here. Hope it's getting cold over there for you guys. But I've still got a hoodie on right now. Like, I'll be taking it off as soon as I walk out of this room, though. Okay, Kai said, I moved to WV to avoid the situation that can't put permanent bruises on my right-hand knuckles. Shannon said, use that for bear run. Damn it, Mandy said, hey, Deb, always good to see ya. Kai said, the looks in the faces when they think you can't get to them and then you pull up. Kai said, we all have a past. Yes, we do. No one's perfect. We're all sinners and that's it. Okay? Deb said, I sent you the dirty joke, Hev, that Shannon is talking about. Oh, okay. That's what the messages were for. Okay. Charlie B said, if it can cook, I'm all in. Kai said, love those bots. I wonder, can they? Shannon said, I plead the fifth. Kai said, imagine that malfunction. Leslie, how you going? Walks like my husband now with his bad back. There you go. Yep, Shannon's in the naughty corner, is he? Okay, what else we got? Kai said, good old sciatica. Shannon said, it's hot here, about 90 degrees. Hello, Leslie, said Deb. Ah, is that you, Eyes? King Jesus Christ Save Soul said, good morning, Hev, Alex, Deb, Dealey, hope you're all well, fine and dandy. Hev, did you move okay and do you like it, honey? Yes. Yeah, and yes. I moved okay. I like the closet I live in now. It's very good. No, I'm kidding. I'm in a room, not a closet, okay? It's just very small. But I love it. It's very entertaining living here. Yep. Shannon said you could call him Pop. I haven't totally unpacked yet because got a very small room and I got a 3-bedroom house worth of stuff that I've got to go through to try and sort out what I'm keeping and what I'm throwing out. Charlie said, I'll never throw the packing material away again. I said, Kai, hi, I wasn't sure if you had swapped your name around. Kai said, John Wick is a pussy? Okay. Shannon said, is Eyes still here? I thought he would have been... No. Come on, Shannon, are you giving him heaps again already? Oh. And Eyes is only joking, okay? It's a joke. That's how Aussies are with each other. They give each other heaps of shit, right? They tease each other and make fun of each other, and that's how it is. Kai said it's getting old in Appalachia. Kai said windy every day around noon. I hate it. Someone said get a kite. What was that? Oh, where'd it go? Yes, everything is going in the naughty corner today. No, I'm kidding. You're going to love your email. Lots of shots have. Okay, I'm up to around here somewhere. Oh, Deb said, you're going to love your email. Lots of shots have. Oh, great. I said, summer and heat coming to Australia in bucket loads, and us poor England, it's freezing like winter already. Oh. Kai said, Lord Jesus, help me. I hate it here already. Yes, everything's going in the naughty corner. Deb. I said, Kai, it's hot in Oz already. Yeah, it is. Deb said it's mostly naughty comments, Hev, I'm sure. Yes, they are. Deb said, what are you on Rumble? Yeah, I'm on Rumble. Jake said, the truth will set you free. Yes. Cassandra, how you going? Oh my God, I caught alive. Just got off the phone with the best buddy in Ukraine. No bombings tonight, thanks to rains. Good one. Charlie said, a little levity is a welcome change. I try and make light of a lot of stuff, okay? I try and make light of a lot of the news and a lot of other stuff. Myself especially, okay? I don't take myself too seriously. I said, is digital ID here in Australia yet? It's coming. Kai said, survives is a key word to catch there. I said, people say no to digital ID. No, it's connected to the beast system in the book of Revelation. Say no. Kai said, I accept it. I'm reading to get out of this meat prison. You ready to get out of this meat prison? Yeah, it's connected eyes, I know. Shannon said, go to the light, Kai, unless there's a bug zapper light, go the other way. Shannon. Kai said, begin a prayer to Jesus and don't end it. Just carry on and speak as you go. Dealey said, I just said no to digital health ID. Yeah, Shannon said, serious, the light is a soul trap which keeps us trapped here on this prison planet. Kai said, oh no, don't go to the light, it's a trap. Sends you through again after a memory wipe. Kai said, I know what was told to the two disciples, this world, it's all a lie. Shannon said, everything's a lie, inverted and twisted. Cassandra's laughing, R.E. Charlie's Tesla with ejection seat. Yeah. Oh, Kai said, jeepers, we judge ourselves in the end. Yeah, I judge myself all the time, harshly too. Deb said, Dad and his family went to a barbecue while in their car, another ad for EVs. Kai said, my last relaxing drive was September the 9th, the 10th. I died for about 6 minutes. Oh, no. Kai, that's not good. Were you driving? Deb said, how's the broom closet have? Good, actually. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We've got to get a shade for the window because, lucky it's got a window. No, we've got to get a shade for the window because the sun in the afternoon beats in and it doesn't matter what you do, it stays warm in this room. So I'm like the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm melting. Oh, okay. It jumped on me again. Okay, I'm nearly there. Okay, Alex is back. Alex is back. Alex is back. Back again. Deb says, Stormy was not amused and Shannon and I are rolfing. Kai said, I moved. I wouldn't say okay, though. Maybe if I find any of my junk. Oh, my goodness. I don't know what you're talking about there. Shannon said, Storm was left with a bad taste in his mouth. Deb said, when will we see you live from the blow-up tent, Hev? Pretty soon, I think. I may have to set that tent up soon to go through my stuff. I can't take the computer out there, so it'll have to be on the phone. Cassandra said, my favourite part of moving, unpacking and donating, that which I get new perspectives on to give charity shops. Yeah, I've got heaps of clothes for them. Some of them they won't accept because they're like 10 years, 20 years old and a bit stretched, but, you know, the rest of them they will. Deb said, Shannon, I'll have to text you with my answer. Yes, it's better texting each other to say those things. No, you can say them on here. I just won't read them out. Kai said, makes you seem very badass, though, to brain damage. Shannon said he didn't like it in the windy Appalachia, so I suggested he might like it if he had a kite. Oh, okay. Deb said, YouTubers putting people in, where? People in the naughty corner, but some comments should not have been put in the naughty corner. I haven't put anyone in the naughty corner. I just haven't read any rude comments. So it's not me doing it, and it's not Deb, and I don't think it's Alex either because we don't do that. Even if you don't like me, I wouldn't delete you. I'd probably have a laugh at your expense, but hey, it doesn't matter. Kai said, right by another army base, no kites allowed, too many gunships. Oh, okay. Yeah, eyes, it's not us, it's YouTube putting people on hold. No, none of my mods would do that. There's only two in here, Alex and Deb. Alex said, sorry if I missed anyone. I could only scroll up so far. I hope everyone had a good week. It's gone really fast. I've been really ill all week, only just been out again. Oh, Alex, I'm sorry. Lots of honey, lemon and ginger in hot water. Jake said, Queen, Omega, Little Lion song. Shannon said, no laser pointers either. Kai said, no one stops to think of offspring grows to be like the parent. We are children of God and grow to be as our Father's secret revealed. Okay, the chat's going faster. Okay. Yeah, tent fight, Shannon. It'd be me fighting the tent. And it's one of those manual pump-up tents, okay? I don't know if any of my little electric pumps would work on it. So, but I've got to find everything. That's the problem. I've got to find all this little stuff. So to do that, I've got to go through everything, and it's taking a while. But hey, I might manually blow it up and just show you the video of me manually blowing the bloody thing up. Deb said, see dirty jokes to understand what Shannon is saying. There you go. Kai said, faith in ourselves, or rather lack of cripples us, yes. Alex said, I hope you got my letter. I'm finally getting things done again, Deb. Deb said, here in Adelaide, they take old clothes for a fibre machine. Deb said, YouTube is monitoring what we're saying. Okay. Alex said, it's YouTube that does it. You can show them. I just haven't been in the chat to unhide any. They're not even rude. Yeah, I know, that's the problem. YouTube, I don't know what's wrong with its AI. It's not as smart as people think it is. They're bloody stupid. They can't tell the difference between a joke or anything, really. It's dumb. Shannon asked what a fibre machine is. Kai said, and people only think about heaven and hell. There's a third place. I'll be there. Deb said, we love everyone in the chat. Yep. Stu, how you going, Stu? You're snoozing and listening? Good one. Shannon said, purgatory. Is that the third one? Alex said, sometimes we don't even see hidden comments if YouTube put them in red, only ones to review. Wow. I didn't know that. Kai said, yeah, that happened at BSA too. Deb said, what is not able to be sold is put in the machine. I said, has Mr. Smiggles and Bella settled in, but no chucks? No chickens. They're still settling in, but yeah, mostly settled. Oh, sorry guys, I'm going to have to cough. Hang on. Lean away from the mic. Kai said, some shows are completely reproduced by the AI and it changes almost everything. Yep. Stu said, it was like Hev reading me off to sleep. Hope you're all well. You too, Stu. Alex said, sad I missed most of the chat tonight. And Shannon missed you, Alex. And with that, I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. And I'm going to take tomorrow off and should be back again on Monday morning. Hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are before I get this tickle in my throat. I'm going to go. Much love.